Welcome back to the Simple Cyber Defense. I'm your host, Carl, and today we're talking about the one tool every security expert has told you to use for the last decade, the password manager. We've all heard the pitch. Put all your passwords in one digital vault, lock it with one master password, and you're safe. But recently, headlines have been a bit scary. You might have seen news about researchers from ETH Zurich finding flaws in the biggest names Bitwarden, LastPass, Dashlane, and even 1Password. The headlines say things like zero knowledge is a lie or hackers can change your passwords. So, today we're going to clear the air. Should you be worried? Is it time to delete these apps and go back to writing passwords on a sticky note under your keyboard? Spoiler, no, please don't do that. We're going to break down what actually happened and what you need to do to stay safe in 2026. What actually happened? Let's talk about this new study. Researchers at ETH Zurich and USI Lugano decided to test the zero knowledge promise. Zero knowledge is a fancy way of a company saying, we host your vault, but we have no way to see what's inside. Even if a government or a hacker takes over our servers, your data is just scrambled gibberish to them. The researchers asked a what-if question. What if a hacker did take over the password manager's server and made it act maliciously? They found that if an attacker controls a server, they can exploit the way the app talks to the server. For example, when your app syncs or when you share a password with a family member, a compromised server could trick your app into revealing a password or even changing one without you knowing. The bottom line, the zero knowledge wall isn't quite as tall as we thought. Under very specific, highly technical conditions, a hacked server could potentially peek inside or mess with your vault. Now, for the million-dollar question, should you be worried? If you're the average person, someone checking email, doing a bit of online shopping, and scrolling social media, the answer is concerned, yes, panicked. No, here's why. These aren't easy attacks. An attacker first has to break into the massive, high-security data centers of companies like Bitwarden or Dashlane. That is incredibly hard to do. The researchers broke them so they could be fixed. This is how security works. The good guys find the holes first, tell the companies, and the companies patch them. Most of these vulnerabilities are already being fixed as we speak. The biggest security risk with these password managers are the cloud storage of your password vault. If you're still concerned about these companies keeping your vault secured in the cloud, you can always host the vault yourself. Password managers like KeePass allow you to keep your password vault on your device only. However, you will lose out on password syncing, and if your device breaks or the storage fails, you lose your password vault. Unless you have backed up your password vault, the alternative is worse. If you stop using a password manager altogether, you'll likely go back to using password 123 for everything. If one site gets leaked, hackers will have the keys to your entire digital life in seconds. The password manager is still the safest house on a dangerous block. It just turns out the locks on the back door needed an upgrade. So, what can you actually do? You don't need a PhD in computer science to protect yourself. Here's your 3-step survival plan for 2026. Step 1. The long and strong master password. Since these attacks target the conversation between your app and the server, having a master password that is long, think 20 plus characters, is your best defense. Don't use a word, use a passphrase, something like purple elephants drink cold coffee 2026. It's easy for you to remember, but nearly impossible for a computer to guess. Step 2, turn on MFA, multi-factor authentication. This is the single most important thing. Even if a hacker managed to use one of these new research flaws to see a password, they still shouldn't be able to get into your bank account if you have MFA turned on. Use an app like Google Authenticator or a physical security key, like a YubiKey if you want the gold standard. Step 3, keep your apps updated. This sounds boring, I know, but remember how I said the companies are fixing these holes? Those fixes only work if you click update on your phone or computer. Don't ignore that little notification. To wrap things up, password managers aren't perfect, but they are still your best friends. The recent research is a wake-up call for the companies to do better, but for you it's just a reminder to keep your tools updated and your master password strong, or you could always try to keep the vault locally on your device with KeePass. In 2026, the digital world is a bit like the ocean. It's beautiful, but there are sharks. A password manager is your cage. It might have a few loose bars today, but it's a lot better than swimming in your trunks. Thanks for listening to the Simple Cyber Defense. Stay safe, stay updated, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Simple Cyber Defense Security Updates. Join us next time when we dive into more security issues, and make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Plus, if you have a topic suggestion or want to support the podcast, stop by our website at simplecyberdefense.com.